White. I am the CEO of Government Professionals. But for the purposes of this platform, just know me as the guy who is so passionate about helping you become your best self. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. We do this every Friday, and I hope you will not miss from today onwards. To our community and our regulars, hello to every one of you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that you make the investment of time and data to be with me every Friday. Now, if you happen to be in Accra or you can come into Accra, then this weekend, my latest play, The Woman in the Bathroom, will be running again. It opened to the public last weekend, and its final run is this weekend. Saturday, 7th of July, and Sunday, 8th of July, at the National Theatre. First show, 4 p.m., second show, 8 p.m. Don't set off from the house at 8. It starts at 8. And if you come, you would find that you couldn't have made a better investment with your time and with the money that you pay at the gate. And when you come, introduce yourself to anybody you meet at the gate and tell them you are part of the ENCORE, and we would be very happy to see you. Today, we are looking at forbidden relationships. Forbidden relationships. So let's begin by asking, what is a forbidden relationship? Now, this is how people define forbidden. One, a relationship that is forbidden by culture. So there are relationships that cannot be according to the cultural principles. For instance, you can't marry your sister according to some cultures. You can't marry your cousin. In some other cultures you can, and in some other cultures you cannot. So a relationship forbidden by a culture. 2, a relationship that is forbidden or frowned upon by religion, by any of our religious sects. And in that, sometimes you even find that, especially in Christianity, the individual denominations also have their own relationships that they forbid. So in some cases, you can't, if you're a Christian, you can't marry a non-Christian. But even within the Christian church, you will find that there are some churches, denominations, that will not permit you to marry from another denomination. 3, relationships forbidden by law. Relationships forbidden by law. There are some relationships that if you are found in it, the law can't deal with. 4, a relationship that is frowned upon by society in general. There are relationships in every society that at any point in time is frowned upon. People say, no, this one cannot. 5, a relationship that is forbidden by your parents. Parents sometimes can have some very funny ideas about what kind of relationship they would accept and who they will not accept and all that. 6, a relationship forbidden by race, or if you are from India, by caste, the caste system. There are people, I remember one of my friends had this uncomfortable conversation. He's a Ghanaian with an American Caucasian family. And they were saying that you can't mix goats and sheep. That goats and sheep cannot marry. And my friend's answer to them was, so in this case, between me and your daughter, which of us is goat and which of us is sheep? And that ended the argument. They suddenly realized what they were espousing was a very silly argument. 7, relationship that is advised against by medicine. There are some people who, because of their medical condition, cannot marry, or it's not advisable for them to marry, and therefore their relationship then becomes forbidden. 8, a relationship based on the abuse of power or position of authority over the other party. Or if somebody abuses his duty of caring for someone, that is a forbidden relationship. But for our discussion today, I'd like to give you my definition of forbidden relationship. I'm going to give you 10 relationships that I think will be addressing as forbidden, not because we want to forbid them, but because out there it could lead to all kinds of issues. One, and I'm giving you 10 relationships that are forbidden or should be forbidden. One, a relationship that can lead nowhere. If you're in a relationship where you know no matter what you do, this relationship is going nowhere, it's forbidden. Don't waste your time in it. Two, a relationship that has a third party or third parties. And you find this a lot in a relationship in which a married person is in a relationship with somebody other than his partner or spouse. That relationship can hurt the spouse, it can hurt the children. That's a relationship that can hurt third parties. Three, a relationship that betrays trust and honor. If the only way to keep this relationship going is to betray a trust or an honor or your honor, then that relationship, it really is not the kind of relationship you should be investing your emotional energy in. Four, a relationship that can be harmful to one or both parties. If the relationship can be harmful to one or both of you, then really it is not in your best interest to be in a relationship like that. Five, a relationship that can put the children from that relationship at risk. If children are born out of this relationship, they are going to suffer, they are going to struggle, they are going to be burdened with all kinds of issues, medical, social, and what have you. Six, the relationship that reduces you in the eyes of society. If you're in a relationship that makes you lose respect, makes you lose the esteem of your peers, of people in the society, regard that as a forbidden one. Seven, a relationship that limits the expression of your best self. If you're in a relationship in which you cannot be yourself, you cannot express yourself, all your joy is gone, you have become a very different person. Your friends meet you and ask you, what is wrong with you? You are in a forbidden relationship. 8, a relationship that is toxic. 9, a relationship that cannot be made public. You can't be photographed anywhere. You can't be caught on camera. You can't be seen on the street. When you are going somewhere, you walk on different sides of the street. You arrive at an event in different cars and things like that. And when you are traveling abroad, you have to go with different flights because you can't be seen. That relationship. I know the case of a minister of state who was relating to a girl at Legon. And whenever he was traveling, and he liked to travel with a girl, they could not be seen together. Because if they did, there would be wahala in the media and also at home. And 10, a relationship that needs lies and secrecy to survive. If you have a relationship in which one or both of you have to continually and consistently lie or keep secret for the relationship to continue, then you are in a forbidden relationship. So why do people find themselves in forbidden relationships? And we're going to run through 20 quick points. 1, defiance. There are people who are just rebels. Tell them they shouldn't do something, they will do it. I had a brother, one of my kid brothers, the only way to get him to do something is to tell him to do the opposite. So he says, you want him to travel, and you tell him that you can never travel. That day he will travel. It doesn't matter where. He would just travel to be able to tell you that you said I couldn't travel, I have traveled. So defiance. There are people like that. That's in their nature. 2, loneliness. There are people who don't know how to be alone, and they hate. Their biggest nightmare is to find themselves alone. And sometimes even the thought, sometimes these are people who, today they are not lonely. They are surrounded by friends and love. But the fear of being lonely sometime in future drives them crazy and gets them into all kinds of strange affiliations. 3, pain. Pain, emotional pain, can sometimes make people do strange things. 4, betrayal. When somebody has been betrayed deeply, sometimes as a reaction, they then go into a relationship that is not in their interest, a relationship that will destroy them, but they are there. 5, to get back at somebody. It's one of the funniest things, one of the saddest things. It's not funny. One of the saddest things that there are those who, when they are hurt by somebody who doesn't love them, think that if they destroy themselves, that other person will see how they have destroyed themselves and feel bad. It doesn't work. I mean, if he cared, he wouldn't have hurt you this badly. He wouldn't have disappointed you or betrayed you. And you hurting yourself will not make any difference to him or her. 6, naivety and ignorance. There are those who get into all these terrible relationships they have no business getting into, purely because they were naive. They are naive, they are ignorant, they do not even understand the full implications of what they are doing. 6, seduction. Sometimes people find themselves in forbidden relationships because they were seduced into it and they didn't see it coming before they realized they were already in it. 8, need. Some people are driven into forbidden relationships out of need, and the need can be financial, emotional, or social, or even sometimes career. 9, a lack of understanding of the nature of emotions. There are people who don't understand their own emotions, and so when they feel something, they think that, yeah, there's something here, and then they pursue it. They don't realize that the heart can be deceitful. That's what the Bible says. The heart is deceitful and desperately wicked, above all things. The mere fact that your heart pumps and you get palpitations when you see somebody or hear that person's voice doesn't mean anything. It's just your heart messing you up. I tell people that, and I am an expert in this because I have the kind of foolish heart that some time ago, in my younger days, was falling in love on an average of once every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I'll meet somebody and say, wow, I love this person, I love this person. Give it 1.5 days, it will go, and then you're back to normal. 10, sometimes people get into forbidden relationships just to escape their own reality, or a certain reality. They escape. They want to escape. Sometimes they just want to escape criticism or pressure. They get into it just for escape. 11, lack of self-discipline. There are people who are in the forbidden relationship just because they were not disciplined enough. They couldn't control themselves, especially their sexual desires. 12, rejection and abandonment. There are people who are abandoned or rejected by those who should have loved them, those who should have supported them. And in their desperation, sometimes in their abandonment, they reach out, or whoever reaches out to them, they cling to that person tightly and can't let go because they can't think of a life, a world without their support. After all, the people they could have counted on have let them down. Could be parents, could be siblings, could be their best friends. 13, the search for father or father figure. And this goes especially for girls. Sometimes the need and the hunger for a father is so deep that they will love any elderly man who comes around promising care and attention. 14, the quest for acceptance. The quest for acceptance. 15, a personality flaw. There are people who are experts. If there is a competition, they will win an award for getting into forbidden relationships because they are flawed and they can't help it. 16, the desire to make the wrong person happy, often at the expense of those we have a duty to make happy. I hope you understand. There are people who get themselves into a situation, it's a very twisted situation, where they think they have what it takes to make somebody happy. Or somebody is down and they want to bring that person up. Whilst at the same time, they have people they have a duty to that they are ignoring. 17, sometimes simply because there was opportunity. There was opportunity. Either they traveled or they are in a position and some things turn up. Some circumstances come into being and then they move into it. 18, ambition. There are people in forbidden relationships deliberately because it furthers their ambition. It helps them to move on and rise. 19, in some cases, desperation. And 20, greed and entitlement and selfishness. Well, now let's go to what makes forbidden relationships strong. What makes them survive? What fuels forbidden relationships? 1, opposition and criticism. Nothing strengthens a forbidden relationship more than opposition. The fact that nobody wants this relationship, nobody is supporting this relationship, and everybody is criticizing it, it provides fuel for it to grow. It becomes tighter. Because what it does is that it brings this they against us thing. And so we'll talk more about that. 2, secrecy that breeds intimacy. Whenever a relationship has to be built around secrecy, it brings a certain intimacy. You know, whoever you share a secret with, suddenly there's a certain closeness between the two of you because you hold that secrecy. And sometimes that secrecy is what brings the intimacy and helps them to continue. 3, limited opportunities to be together. Forbidden relationships they can't see each other whenever they want. So whenever they are able to meet, every minute counts. That is when they will talk about, why didn't you pick my call? Because that is not it. That one you do when, because, hey, Charlie, we don't know whether we can meet again. We don't even know when we can meet again. So now that we are together, the only thing is, let's get on, let's make the most of this time. And sometimes that is the beauty. That's what makes it tremendous. 4, the victim mentality. When people feel that we are being victimized, I am in love and nobody wants to understand me. And then they claim this person who I am in this relationship with is the only one who understands me. So they invest all the emotions there. 5, failure of family and friends to provide support. Sometimes when family and friends fail to provide the support they need to provide this person, they rather encourage the forbidden relationships to go on. There are people, in my own experience, that I have gotten out of forbidden relationships just by paying attention to them. Just by paying attention to them, they suddenly realize, look, I'm worth more than this kind of thing, a relationship. And 6, rejection. When people feel rejected, whoever comes up who shows acceptance is taken. And then the search, 7, the search for love. There are people who are so hungry for love and desperate for love that wherever they find it, it's okay. Once the person says, speak the magic words, I love you, that is all. So let's look at the attraction of forbidden relationships. Why? What's the attraction for forbidden relationships? I'll begin with 2 quotes from Mark Twain. It says, the first one is, there is a charm about the forbidden that makes it unspeakably desirable. There is a charm about the forbidden that makes it unspeakably desirable. And the second quote from Mark Twain, the more things are forbidden, the more popular they become. The more they are forbidden, the popular they become. All right, so what is the appeal of forbidden relationships? 1, the adventure and the sense of danger. You know, you are shaking, your heart is beating, and Charlie, we could be caught. If we are caught, we'll be in trouble. Oh, and yet, that is such fun. Anybody who has been in boarding school and has had to run to town at night knows what I'm talking about. The excitement of knowing, Charlie, we could be sad. You know, and you're working with a colleague. You are married. You're working with a colleague, and you think that, oh, he'll be a better person than my spouse, than my partner. And then the attraction, the next one is that it's because it is there, because it is possible, because the opportunity is there. The next, the feeling that one can get away with it. Sometimes that one, I can get away with it. Ask anybody who jumps the traffic light in Ghana. The attraction for jumping the traffic light in Ghana is because you know you can get away with it. Even when the policeman is standing there, the chances are that the car that is parked by the roadside does not have fuel in it to chase you. I have discovered that sometimes the pen they are even going to use to write your number does not have ink inside. So we know we can get away with it. That's why we jump the traffic light, knowing we shouldn't do it. Go outside, go to Europe. You won't jump it because you know you'll be caught. You won't get away with it. And then the promise of the satisfaction of emotional needs. That's one of the attractions, that it promises to satisfy your emotional needs. They need to be needed. They need to be wanted. They need to be attractive to somebody. This person says, you are attractive to me. And finally, the promise to satisfy financial and economic needs. If you have the latest Mercedes-Benz, it doesn't matter how many wives you have. You hold a promise of satisfying somebody's financial need. And when you stop somebody and said, how far, the person will jump in before he tells you where he's going. But let's look at a few truths about forbidden relationships. And I'm going to do 10 truths and facts we all need to know about forbidden relationships. 1, good and decent people can be trapped in one. Sometimes when we see somebody in a forbidden relationship, we think, oh, what is wrong with you? This person must be bad. He must be immoral. He must be a terrible person. No. Good, decent people can be trapped in a forbidden relationship. 2, nobody plans to be in a forbidden relationship. There's nobody who, when he was growing up, decided, when I grow up, I'm going to be in a relationship nobody would accept. Everybody would talk against. A relationship that will not be in my best interest, but I don't care, I'm going to be in it. No, what happens is that we are rather sucked into it unawares. And we'll talk a bit about that. 3, the third truth about forbidden relationships, it is so easy to get into one, but extremely difficult to get out of it. But getting into it, it's very, very easy. Once you get inside, it's very difficult to come out. 4, caring people are most at risk. Those who often get caught in forbidden relationships and are trapped into it are those who went in to help genuinely. Their initial intention was not to be caught in any romantic thing. They just felt, I think I can help. This person needs my help. I think I can help. And before they realize, they are in a mess. 5, it does not deliver what it promises. Forbidden relationships don't deliver that emotional passion it promises. It always delivers less than it promises, if it delivers anything at all. 6, it destroys marriages and breaks homes. 7, it could destroy career and reputations. A lot of political career, even sporting careers have been ended because of forbidden relationships. 8, it could make a bad situation worse. A bad situation, maybe you feel rejected, you feel alone, you get yourself into a forbidden relationship. It could make your situation much, much worse. It could lead to alienation from your family, from your friends, from everything you care about, and eventually alienation from you yourself. And 7, it does not remain a secret forever. It does not remain a secret forever. It's just a lie when you think that, oh, we will keep it a secret. Nothing is a secret. Let's quickly go through how people are trapped. How people are trapped in a forbidden relationship. And let me make this point quickly. The trapping process is gradual and often innocent. There's nothing that says, look, I am trapping you into a forbidden relationship. That will be your worst nightmare. It's always gradual and innocent. So how do people get trapped into this? One, sympathy. They just had sympathy. They went in there out of sympathy. They got close to this person out of sympathy. And before they realized, they had been trapped emotionally and they cannot come out. Two, taking chances. They were taking chances. They knew this could be dangerous, but they thought that, look, no, not me. And so they took chances, only to discover they are not as strong as they are. They are the descendants of Peter, who thought he was champion, until a small girl said, were you not with him? Three, we are talking about how people are trapped in forbidden relationships, spending too much time with someone else that you shouldn't do. There is nothing, when you spend a lot of time with somebody, trust me, with time you'll fall in love with that person. Including when you talk a lot with that person on the phone and spend a lot of time on the social media. I've discovered that the human voice is the most seductive thing in the world. Speak with somebody over time on phone and you fall in love with that person. To the point that sometimes when the person hasn't called, your day seems messed up. So investing so much time. 4, getting too involved in somebody's issues. Somebody is going through a painful divorce. Somebody has had a terrible breakup. And you, brother or sister, caring, you go in there. You are the only person who has solutions. Then you get in there. Before you realize, you have become the problem and not the solution. 5, failure to draw the line and set proper boundaries in your interaction with people. Some people don't know where to stop. You know, you are relating to people in the office, and you're always embracing them, and your hand is going to all kinds of wrong places, and you are caressing them. You are failing to draw the line. One day they will respond, and then you realize that your body has what is called hormones, and you'll be shocked. 6, ignorance of yourself. There are people who are so ignorant of. They think, me, I'm so controlled. Me, I'm so principled. I can never do this. Nobody can ever trap me. The Bible has a simple thing for you. He who thinks he stands, let him take heed lest he falls. 7. 7, I have talked about it, spending a lot of time on phone and on social media. Can I quickly run through the cost of forbidden relationships? Oh, yes. 1 is that it leads to unfulfillment because you want more, you can't get it. There's nothing more painful than wanting to be with a person you love but is home with the family. You can't have the person. It leads to unfulfillment. 2, it leads to self-doubt and self-loathing. 3, it leads to loss of friends and loss of even family. And 4, it can then result in abandonment. 5, stigmatization. 6, loss of peace. 7, loss of respect of your peers and of society. 8, destruction of home, marriage, even of children. 9, it deepens your loneliness. And 10, it can do havoc to your spirituality, to your spiritual life. Now, I'd like to run through 20 points that can help you decide whether you can be a candidate for a forbidden relationship. If you are not in one, thank God you are not in one. But if you are not in one, listen to these 20 points because you need to know whether you could be a candidate or not, so you could be careful. 1, you do not live within your means. If you're a person who does not live within your means, you are a prime candidate for a relationship, a forbidden relationship. Just that one hasn't come your way yet. But when it comes, you will go like nothing. 2, you live a lie and pretend to be what you are not. you are a candidate. 3, you keep loose and immoral friends. None of your friends is correct. They talk nonsense. And then you think that you are the sane one among them. One day, you'll be like them. You would be like them. 4, you have not learned to control your sexual desires. And especially the men. There are men who, as soon as they experience erection, they move in the direction of the erection. You know, they are led. The Bible says that there are people who are led by the Spirit of God, but there are people who are led by erection. As soon as the erection comes, they must follow it. 5, you married under pressure or out of duty or out of obligation. You are a prime candidate for a forbidden relationship. Go and ask Prince Charles. He will tell you that. 6, you are dependent and you desire to be taken care of. If you're one of these people who are always dependent, you want someone to take care of you, you are a prime candidate. 7, you are a social misfit. You don't fit in, and you haven't made the effort to fit in. 8, you are a very secretive person. Nobody knows anything about you. 9, you are overly outgoing and gregarious. Those people who are the life of a party, they get to a party and you think they have known everybody there. Well, they are admirable, but they are dangerous. 10, you are a flirt. There are people who are naturally flirt. They don't mean anything, but they will flirt with you, you know. 11, you are driven purely by fun. There are people who, their only motto in life is have fun. They want to have fun. They don't want anything else, fun. Then you are a prime candidate. 12, you are bitter with God. Something happened in your life and you are angry with God, though you will not acknowledge it. Maybe you still go to church. Maybe you even preach or lead praises. But inside you, there's this bitterness against God. Trust me, you are a prime candidate. 13, you are grieving a loved one, be it a parent or a spouse, but you are grieving somebody who was dear to you. That makes you a candidate for forbidden relationship. 14, you are selfish. Everything is about you and your feelings. You don't care who you hurt to satisfy your feelings. You are a danger to yourself. 15, you don't feel good about yourself. So anybody who makes you feel good, you will give everything to that person. And you will sacrifice everything for that person. 16, you are going through midlife crisis. Nobody in my team is going through a midlife crisis, but some of them behave as if they are. And that is worrying. You're going through midlife crisis. Men, especially within the ages of 40 and 60, are candidates for this. 17, you married just to be happy. If being happy was the reason why you married, you are a candidate for forbidden relationship. Because marriage was not meant to make you happy. It's a school. And nobody loves school. Unless those who went to the schools that do not do well in science and maths quiz. I won't mention anybody's name. 18. You hold yourself accountable to nobody and to nothing. Nothing in your life holds you back. You hold yourself accountable to nothing and you hold yourself accountable to nobody. You are a candidate for forbidden relationship. 19, you don't value principles. You don't value principles. You don't live by any principle. And finally, 20, you mistake feelings for love. Love is not a feeling. But when you mistake it, you could be in trouble. Okay, let's talk about how to avoid a forbidden relationship. How to avoid a forbidden relationship. 12 points. 1, don't think you are above it. That's the first one. Don't think you are above it. Because then, if you think you are above it, you will never be on the guard and take the precautions not to be in one. 2, beware of the myth of the greener pastures. Let me explain the myth of the greener pastures. You are in a relationship, but you see somebody's relationship and you think, oh, they are happy. They are happy. He's treating her better. She's a far better spouse than my spouse. That's a myth of a greener pasture. Never think some relationship is working better than yours. Because some people are better at hiding what is going on in their relationship. 3, again, we are looking at how to avoid being in a forbidden relationship. Commit to honoring your vows and being a person of your word. 4, develop a healthy social network. Make sure you have a healthy social network. People you can call, people you can be with, but these are not people who want to see you naked. These are people who respect you and want the best for you. 5, hold yourself accountable to somebody. 6, set goals for yourself and focus on them, on achieving them. You know that saying that says that the devil finds work for idle hands. If you have goals and you are pursuing them, you don't have time to engage in some of these things. So, and it leads on to 7, get busy and get involved in something. Get busy, get involved in something. 8, don't become a slave to your flesh. I'm using a Krife term, flesh. In other words, don't become a slave to your sexual urgings and sexual desires. Because anybody who lives to satisfy the sexual desire becomes a slave. 9, have good and godly friends. Friends whose conversation is good and godly. Not those who are always sharing the latest pornographic clip they came upon. 10, don't encourage certain contacts and associations. There are certain contacts you shouldn't entertain. And certain associations, you should cut them before they develop and you are seduced further. 11, learn to develop a healthy relationship with the opposite sex. This is what I mean. And I'm speaking to men in particular. Not every friendship with a girl needs to become sexual. You know, ladies have much more to offer than what is between their legs, please. So develop a much more healthier relationship with ladies. And 12, don't devote too much time to anyone who is not your partner or family. This issue of spending every available time. Why? Because the girl called me and she said she couldn't sleep. And so you left home at 2 a.m. to go to a girl who has called you and said she can't sleep. If the girl calls you and says, it's 2 a.m., I can't sleep, tell them they are just for night watchmen. Please apply for one. You can't sleep, you will be a fantastic watchman somewhere. And this issue of, and I went and I sat there and I wanted her to sleep before I left. What kind of nonsense? You're fooling yourself. Let's look at 10 ways you can help somebody in a forbidden relationship. Sometimes you have somebody in a forbidden relationship and you really want to help the person. 1, try to understand why that person is in that relationship. First, try to understand what has brought you here. If you haven't understood that, you have no right to talk anything. 2, don't condemn, don't be judgmental, and don't preach at that person. Quite often the person knows the true, the good and the wrong in that relationship. So don't condemn. It's so easy to want to condemn and say, but you know you shouldn't be there. How could you be so stupid? No. Don't condemn. 3, don't spread the news. Have you heard? No, don't do that. It will only make this relationship tighter. 4, be a true friend. In other words, be there for this person. If the person wants to talk, be there. Lend a listening ear. 5, involve this person in your network. Find ways. So invite the person to join you. Let the person share in your social support structure. So if you live with your parents, for instance, invite the person home. Let the person become part of your home. And you realize that the opportunity, the desire and the need to be in that relationship would suddenly go away when you provide that social support structure. 6, be willing to help financially, because sometimes that is the reason why the person is in that. 7, lend a listening ear. If the person wants to talk, just talk. Listen. 8, don't encourage the relationship. In other words, don't run errands for this relationship and don't carry messages and provide cover. So if the person comes and says, it is Kabute's birthday today, the wife knows me, so if I get there, there will be trouble. So you, Abiziga, take the thing and go and give it to her. Don't run errands. Don't encourage the relationship. We are not condemning it, but don't become a part of it. 9, don't exploit the person. In other words, don't add to the woes of that person. There are people who have gone into to help somebody out of a forbidden relationship and have become the forbidden relationship themselves. So be careful of it. And 10, be ready to provide support and help when the relationship collapses. When the relationship collapses, that's not the time to say, we told you. That's the time to provide support and healing, and it will help the person. Well, so if you are if you are in a forbidden relationship yourself, how do you get out? 1, the first thing is make sure you don't get into one. That's the primary one. That's how to get out of a forbidden relationship. Don't get into one. 2, decide and be determined to end it. It begins with you. You should decide this thing. I want to end it. Not I wish I could end it. I want to end it. 3, remember that it is a battle and it may take time. Sometimes you walk out, come back in, walk out, and you are drawn back in. It doesn't matter. It's a battle. You keep it. But keep the focus that this thing, I'm going to end it. 4, seek counsel. 5, open up to somebody you can trust. 6, get someone to talk to the other party, because sometimes it's the other party who is pushing so hard. And if somebody that person respects goes to him and the person gets to know that, hey, son, they know what I'm doing, he will back off. Especially when the person you are in the relationship with is in a position of authority over you, then sometimes letting somebody confront him may help. 7, put yourself in the shoes of those you are hurting and betraying. Sometimes just that may help you. And then 8, learn to put your sexual desires in their proper place. It's not wrong to have them, but it is wrong to be controlled by them. Well, so that is our presentation for today, forbidden relationships. I hope you've picked a point or two. If you are in one, I pray that you'll find the strength to do what is proper. I don't condemn you, but I pray that you'll find this energy. If you are not in one, I pray that you never find yourself in one. And now we'll take a very short break, and then when we come back, I'll take your questions and your comments. So please don't go away.
Roverman Productions, in partnership with the National Theatre and Joy FM, presents the latest ever white play, The Woman in the Bathroom.
I work to make an impact, not for the money.
Impact?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When is your wife's birthday? Give her birthday impact. When my grandchildren are hungry, give them to chew impact. Then when you have died, go and pot your coffee with impact. Nonsense. Impact.
The Woman in the Bathroom shows at the National Theatre on 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 8th July 2018 at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Rate 80 Ghana cedis. Tickets available at all usual outlets. Hotline 0505 546 010. Sponsors: Bond Savings and Loans, Allfingel, and Frightor from Wilma. Media partners: MyJoyOnline.com, AdomOnline.com, GhanaWeb.com, Pulse.com.gh, Logistic Movers, Sweet Melodies, Daily Guide, and Gold Street Business. A Woman in the Bathroom. Get your tickets now.
Honey, I have laid the bed. Baby, Amadi, tomorrow I have a meeting. I have a business meeting tomorrow.
Sir? Oh, sweetheart. Here, take this.
Get the best-selling novels, The Deal.
Thank you very much for staying on. We are back, and I'm grateful that you could continue to stay with us. So let's start with the questions. I hope we have some questions. If not, there's a young man I can put on camera right now.
Adoa says, when a forbidden relationship ends in marriage, is it still forbidden? And then Viva also asks, in relation to the same question, some forbidden relationships end up in marriage. What's the way out? Divorce?
Because?
Divorce?
No, not necessarily. But the point is that if it was a forbidden relationship that gave birth to marriage, you must know that there's always a ghost that can come back to haunt you. There is this song by Ejako Nimo, Misro Ujem Fita. So sometimes that trust, one day it will come to bite you, because you see, I took you from somebody, so I don't trust you.
From Jennifer, Uncle, how do you leave a marriage where you can't be yourself or even chat with your partner and you have kids involved?
Okay. It is not now that you know you can't be yourself. I think you knew right from the word go that this person, we don't flow well. But you are here now, focus on the children, and then see what else you can do to let the relationship become a little bit much warmer than it is now.
From Tricia, Uncle, but why is it that forbidden relationship tends to be exciting most times?
Psychology. Stolen water always tastes sweet. So that is why. You remember, we went through a number of points as to why they are attractive, they appeal of forbidden relationships. Sometimes just the danger of it, the risk of being caught, is always the secrecy and all that. It deepens whatever you give to each other. There's never any expectations and entitlement in a forbidden relationship, because I'm a percher. Do you understand me? I am an emotional percher. I can't ask, why am I not sleeping on the bed? Yeah, let's go.
From McLeod Kwame, Uncle, thanks for the education. My best friend revealed that my girlfriend was his ex, and I think I should drop one. Who should I drop?
Well, if it was the ex and you didn't pick this relationship when they were still a number, then I don't see why you should drop your girlfriend. Don't forget that somebody's throwaway is another person's raw material. So don't work with that.
Becky says, Uncle, please, what do you do in a relationship where the guy talks to you anyhow and disrespects you and only chats with you when he is in need of money and make you feel responsible for everything? He knows you are working. Please, what do you do?
Is this somebody you've married or somebody you are courting? Let's come back. Come back on that one and clarify whether there's somebody you're married or courting.
Uncle, this forbidden relationship thing, I can't tell anybody, but I am dating my parish priest. I have tried, but it's difficult.
It is difficult. Yes, it is difficult. That one I can understand. I can understand it is difficult. But the decision is yours, my dear lady.
Louisa's comment is, Uncle, this charm thingy, I once stayed in a forbidden relationship for long because I convinced myself I was responsible for them emotionally.
Yeah. Yes. And that is because sometimes there is a lot of blackmail there, emotional blackmail, in a forbidden relationship. And that is why some people keep staying on. But whenever you feel the urge to move, make the decision and make it clear and follow through with it, no matter what price it comes with.
From Joseph Kwanzaa on our YouTube channel. Uncle, anytime I am about falling in love, I just get the feeling there is always someone better.
Joe, you remain single. Joe, yeah, there would always be somebody better. But why are you waiting for somebody better? The somebody better may not even be for you. So whoever you fall in love with, you can make that person become the most outstanding person in your generation. So it's up to you. Go in there, make the person incredible.
Uncle, are people born natural flirts? How can you tell he or she is a natural flirt?
No, nobody is born natural flirt. But there are personalities that are bubbly and that are warm, and you may mistake them. There are people who would always give compliments, and they will smile at you, and you will think they are flirts, but they are not. They are just being themselves. I know this is difficult for some men to understand, because for us men, if a girl smiles at us, hey, the girl loves me. Unfortunately, that's not it. She's just being nice and warm, and sometimes respectful.
From Ellie on our YouTube channel. If you know someone isn't good for you and relate with the person, is that forbidden? The person isn't married or anything like that, but you know that he isn't good for you.
Yeah, it's forbidden. It is forbidden. Because where would it lead to? And how long would you keep it going? So if you genuinely know that this is not going to go anywhere, especially if you are not comparing him with anybody else, because that is where the issue is. Sometimes a good person may not look good because you are romanticizing about somebody else who is forbidden. But if it is not that case, and you know I've given this my best bet, but it's not working, then in your own interest and in the interest of that party, yeah, don't keep it going.
Vasti says, I wiggled out of a forbidden relationship almost 2 years now, and I'm finding it difficult to love again. Any help?
Vasti, I like your name. It's from the Bible. What help? No, take it a day at a time. You will love again. You will love again. You will heal, and you will love again. You will love again. Sometimes when you come out of a forbidden relationship, everybody is suspicious of you, because what you don't know is that others may know about the forbidden relationship you've been in. And so everybody looks at you with question marks. But somebody may come around who may not care about your history and love you for who you are.
Gideon Rexford from our YouTube channel asks, Uncle, can pride also lead into a forbidden relationship?
Pride itself is a result of other things. Sometimes even bad self-esteem can make you proud. Sometimes pain can make you proud, because have you seen? Those of you who went to boys' school, there are boys that you punish, and after you punish them, they just pull their collar up, and then they walk with even more defiance, because they are in pain, but they don't want you to see it. So pride is often the result or manifestation of other personality flaws.
From me, Uncle, what is feelings if it's not love? How can one differentiate the two?
Feelings come and go. Love does not go. Like I was telling you, I used to fall in love every 2 weeks. That's feeling. But real love stays, and has stayed for 35 years. Yeah. Any more?
Uncle, forbidden relationship is not only with married people, but with the celibate as well. Example, priests and nuns.
Or not just that. Even with singles. For instance, you are dating your best friend's boyfriend. They are not married yet. That is in itself forbidden. Or you are quote unquote dating the maid servant in your house. You know, when your parents sleep, then you sneak into her room. That is also a forbidden relationship. So I agree, it is not only with a married person. And if you listen to me, I gave an outline of what I regard as a forbidden relationship. Bottom line, a relationship that if you are caught on camera, you have to buy a ticket and get lost from town is forbidden.
Okay. About 3 questions in one. How do you forgive someone who you warned about a forbidden relationship? How do you know you have forgiven the person? And how do you talk about it as an issue of the past without being emotional?
Can I prophesy? I prophesy. Why does prophecy always go with that kind of funny talk? I prophesy that this is a message from a spouse and may have warned the partner that this relationship, this person that you are caring for could lead into this, and maybe it did lead into it. If that is the case, how do you forgive? If it is over, then move on. Just pick the pieces and move on, and hope that he or she has learned the lessons and will not get trapped into it again.
Uncle, I've just discovered that my girlfriend and I are not compatible medically. We are both positive for sickling, but she doesn't want to accept that. How do I handle it in a better way?
Oh, that is always a difficult thing. That is always a difficult thing, extremely difficult. And yet, if you went ahead, you could be carrying quite a lot of load, especially when the children come. Unless maybe you decide that we're going to get married, but we won't have children. That is also a legitimate decision to take. So keep talking with her. Maybe let her speak with somebody who has been in that kind of situation, so they can give both of you a better perspective of it, or talk to some medical person.
From Ahoefa. Sorry.
Come again?
Ahoefa. Okay. From Ahoefa. Uncle, is it okay for a partner to quit a relationship because he or she feels she is not able to make you happy and that he or she doesn't want to hurt you? And if so, was that a forbidden?
How does he know he doesn't make you happy? He's running away. He just wants to go and is just using. How do you know you are not making her happy or making him happy? Is that not a decision for that person to make? So stop lying to this person and come clean with the true reason why you are seeking to get out of the relationship.
Anne says, this man, I wish I would meet you one day. I love you. That's a forbidden relationship.
And don't mind them. They are jealous. Don't mind them. Well, I'm sure we'll meet one day. And I wish you a great weekend.
From Louis on our YouTube channel, he says, Uncle, the lady I'm dating doesn't know how to talk. And anytime I try teaching her, she tells me that is how she is. And she can't change. Moreover, she compares me to other guys. What should I do?
Keep quiet and suffer. Oh, keep quiet and suffer. She did not become this way overnight. You knew she was like that and you fell in love with her. She's right when she tells you that that's the way I am. Listen to me, everyone. When you start dating somebody, you have lost the right to transform the person or change the person in any way. Once you start dating somebody, or especially when you is gotten into serious courtship, at that point, for you, it's a finished product.
Jesus.
Others can help that person change. You have lost that right to make that person consider changing. Anything. So stop making trouble. You knew her. She didn't know how to talk from the first day you met her. Maybe that was part of the appeal. Maybe you like somebody who would talk rot to you. Keep quiet and suffer. And hope that she loves you enough to want to change for you. But if not, there's nothing you can do.
Abuna says, is it wise to marry less than a month?
After meeting somebody?
Yes.
Less than a month? What was chasing you, Kakai? I mean, why the rush? Really? They've been together for long? For 1 month? 1 month is a long time. Hey, I mean, less than a month is fast track. It's too fast track.
From Nanahima, what do you do when your husband only jokes or is nice to you when he needs something?
You two joke and have fun with him when you need when he needs something. So you two get ready when he comes. Put your this thing on the table. But that's a joke. Listen, sometimes when you can give it to him, it makes him open for you to now negotiate and say, you know something, you've not been paying attention to me. Can we talk? And he may talk. You may get his ear at that point.
From Akosia, Uncle, can you be married to your husband and still be in love with your ex?
Yes, you can. Is it advisable? No, but it happens. I mean, I can roughly estimate that it's the case of about 40% of marriages.
Chris says, great talk. Joining you at the National Theatre tomorrow with my daughter to see The Woman in the Bathroom. Just hoping I can meet you after the play. Oh, good work. Oh,
you can meet me, please. I'm always available after it. I may be surrounded by people, but you hang around. I make it a point to see everybody who wants to see me, because you honor me by coming to my show. I'm your servant, so just come and walk. And I don't have bodyguards. And if anybody is pretending he's my bodyguard, tell him, we know our uncle does not have a bodyguard. Get out of the way. I don't have a bodyguard. No, and you don't. So just walk and say, Uncle, well, I want to say hi. So that's it. I don't think I've chopped anybody's money to get a bodyguard to protect myself from that person.
From Jerry, Uncle, please, how can you know you have a true lover?
If you are asking, you don't. All right. Now, our time is gone. I'm sorry. I hope you can take a joke. That was a joke. And I'm running away because my time is hopelessly gone. I'd like to thank you for staying with me and with us. I'd like to thank my team, all those who make this possible. I have a team of incredible young people. Some of them, even in their 30s, are already suffering midlife crisis, but they are fine. We love them all the same. 3 of them are in forbidden relationships, but we love them. We don't talk about that. But I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank you. Hope to see you at the National Theatre if you're in Ghana. And until we meet again, may God bless, keep, and sustain you.
Roverman Productions, in partnership with the National Theatre and Joy FM, presents the latest ever white play, The Woman in the Bathroom.
I work to make an impact, not for the money.
Impact?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When is your wife's birthday? Give her birthday impact. When my grandchildren are hungry, give them to chew impact. Then when you have died, go and pot your coffee with impact. Nonsense. Impact.
The Woman in the Bathroom shows at the National Theatre on 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 8th July 2018 at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Rate 80 Ghana cedis. Tickets available at all usual outlets. Hotline 0505 546 010. Sponsors Bond Savings and Loans, Allfingel, and Frightor from Wilma. Media partners MyJoyOnline.com, at DoomOnline.com, GhanaWeb.com, Pulse.com.gh, Logistic Movers, Sweet Melodies, Daily Guide, and Gold Street Business. A Woman in the Bathroom. Get your tickets now.
Hello. They call me